We're back with the Throw Show after a brief hiatus from the fall. Now we're back at it. Everybody's competing. This is like my favorite time of year when everybody's starting to get back in shape. So Trevor, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I haven't seen you in at least 25 minutes.
I was getting coffee.
Okay, so we got a lot of big news. We're going to cover some of the stuff that has happened in the track world. Then we're going to go into some of the indoor season throws with the NCAA and even what's coming up, long term here. So let's start right off with talking about the track league or TFL. Is it Track and Field League? Is that what the name was? So. This was I guess a semi-response to the American Track League, and it seems like the American Track League has found like more of a sustainable means of executing an actual league format where it's sort of like 2 or 3 different locations. They're a little bit more realistic with their funding and how to get people to these meets. And paying for the hotels. Now the TFL came out and was offering $10,000 bonuses to people who would sign with these different teams, and it just apparently wasn't even sustainable. It never even really got off the ground. And I think that, especially post-pandemic, but I also just think with sort of fringe sports, non-revenue sports, that aren't top 4, top 5 sports in the world, I think what you end up seeing is it's a little bit harder to keep these sports like financially funded. And Trevor, I have a question for you. Do you have any idea on how to make something unique for track and field athletes to make money? What would you do?
That's a tough question, but I think what you were saying just with the TFL is like, just going all in on something right away without knowing if it's going to work or not. Yeah. And I don't know. I think there's a place for that, and like you might just hit the nail on the head. But it's like why not start a little easier, get the train rolling, and then as it builds up steam, add more and more money into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like just looking at it from a business standpoint, like a sustainable business plan. But I mean, as far as like actually making it like cool and like crazy and different, I mean, I don't know, like maybe, I mean, it's tricky because like every single event's different, so do you come up with some sort of different style of event for every single event,
or pace or something?
Do you do different, like do you like have people like team up and like, I don't know, have like little groups of teams like between events and stuff versus like big teams across all events? I don't know. Do you have anything crazy?
I think one of the more enjoyable things that I witnessed was at the Olympic trials this year. There was a group of like distance runner fans, and they were definitely drinking heavily at the trials. But while they were drinking, a guy before each distance race was standing up, screaming out odds. And there was like 10 or 15 guys, and I'm pretty sure it was illegal, just throwing money at them. And then they were going nuts during the races. So like, yeah. I do think there is some credence to gambling on these sports. I sort of feel like, I mean, one, I think track and field participants need to consume, something like the TFL or American Track League. We've got to consume that more as as viewers to give it a little bit more financial stability. But I think it's just got to be more so down to like specific events. Like, like in our case, we have a shot and a discus comp, and there's a lot of money for those people. Mm-hmm. And then if you're somebody else who's in pole vault or in jumps, like you have events for that. I think that's going to be how we end up, going forward, at least how we do this here at the gym and with Throws U. So I think it is tough. Heading into,
but at the same time, I think we should still be supportive of people who want to get into stuff like this because they are putting a lot into the sport.
Yeah.
And as much as it's easy to criticize and be like, oh, like, we know it would have never worked out. Like, we want this stuff to succeed. That's the goal, to make this succeed. And I think we got to be supportive of it.
I think what you said, though, I mean, even here, if you're drafted in the first round, you have a $10,000 signing bonus. It's just like, I think going along the ideas, the line of what you had said, it's like, I want this to succeed, but it's just, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be a little bit more realistic and have, some of the really successful. I'll say this about wrestling. There's a lot of, there's not like a professional wrestling league for freestyle wrestling, but there's a lot of people who give a lot of money to world-class wrestlers who are trying to make teams through their regional training centers. And so that's like one thing I also think, if there's business people out there that are into the sport, they've got to try and support it as well. Yeah. The next thing that I wanted to bring up too was, Judd Logan passed away. I guess now we're going on about 2 weeks ago. And I just think, losing someone, I know this is transitioning into a little bit of a tough topic, but losing someone like Judd, and the impact, and recognizing the impact that he had on the sport, I almost feel like his energy and his ability to motivate people in the realm, and I don't know how I'm going to tie this back to the track and field league, and probably not, but it's like losing Judd Logan sucks. It's a huge impact. It's a huge blow on the sport. And I also just think, for me personally, I didn't know him very, very well, but I had a couple of Judd stories of interacting with him, seeing him coach his athletes, and seeing the energy he brought, and how much he loved the sport. And I sort of view, the times that I have engaged with Judd, like, he was a dude that had a huge impact on the throwing world. And I sort of feel like Throws University, myself personally, I want to, try to fill that void that is being left by Judd as much as we possibly can as we move forward as a, as a business and as coaches.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you were in Ohio, so I don't know how much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just watching him at meets going just nuts, you can't ignore how much, like, the passion he had for throwing and for his athletes. And I think that's, I don't know, even when you just look at, what makes a good person, what makes a good coach, like, just having, not just kind of sitting back, like, worried about yourself. It's just like, just putting yourself into something 100%. And I think that's at least from what I've seen, that's what Judd did.
One story I have is I was at a Findlay Elite meet. This is like 2014 probably. And I was consistently throwing over 18, but I wasn't that good. And they had invited me to this meet. Kurt Roberts was dropping bombs, and I was throwing like crap. Chuck Onekwuchi was in it. Coy Blair was there. They might have been their freshman year or sophomore year at Purdue, and they were ripping throws. I get into the circle, and I was throwing like 17.05, and it's like the fourth throw, and all of a sudden I see this huge guy behind the circle just start screaming like, "Let's go, Dane, what are you doing? Let's go." And I was like, I had talked to Judd like twice before. I'm like, dude, Judd Logan's yelling for me. Like, I got to throw farther. And I went in, I threw like 18, 15. I was like, yes, I did it. I actually threw like a respectable throw. So that's my Judd story. But I do think, it sucks losing him, and just got to stay healthy, as healthy as we possibly can. And like what you had just mentioned, if you're into something, you've got to go 100%, really.
We all got to step our games up.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some of these. Oh, wait, we still have this to discuss, too. Tom Walsh's coach, Dale Stevenson, moves back to Australia. So he steps away, resigns from coaching Tom Walsh. How do you think... One, I mean, I'm interested to see what Dale does now in Australia, because there's a lot of good athletes in Australia, and he's an incredible coach. He's going to develop tons of freaks there. But how do you think this is going to impact Tom?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know their relationship, athlete and coach, well. I mean, but I think when anyone loses a coach, especially, it seems from what I've seen is that they did work closely together. Yeah. And whenever someone loses a coach, there's always a transition period. I think, now it seems that the coach who's coaching him now, I forget his name. Okay, yeah. he was working with him in the past in the same system, in the same group. And so it seems like his training isn't going to change, that drastically. But, still the communication, every coach has a different way of communicating, and adjusting to that can have some adjustment. But I don't think he's going to be impacted overly much. That's my...
I think he's at the point in his career where it's sort of like he's mature enough. Dude, I sort of compare it to like Tom Brady. Like,
yeah.
Tom Brady's, we were talking about this before. Byron Leftwich is like a great offensive coordinator for Tom Brady, but he's also more just like the sounding board, and they sort of go back and forth. And I think that's where Walsh is in his career. What is he? He's a 2 or 3-time world champion, the 2-time Olympic bronze medalist. He knows how to train. He knows how to work on specific things. And I think, with Hall being part of that system already, I don't think they'll really skip a beat. And I think it's going to be cool to watch how they adapt, how they adjust, and then also what Dale does in Australia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so that will take us into right here. Tariq Robinson O'Hagan. Oh, this is a high school kid?
Yeah, this is a massive throw. Celebration too.
So he throws 69 and a quarter. What state's he from? Ocean State? Is that Rhode Island? Ooh, he's got good technique. Jeez.
That's a good throw.
Is he going to Ole Miss?
I don't know.
I like his technique.
Yeah.
Man, he's a monster. What would you say? Well, how would you coach him?
How would I coach him? I mean, the only thing that stood out like as a little more drastic in his throw, I think his right leg is just, he just kills his right leg. I think maybe he's a little jumpy at the front coming off of his left foot, but at the same time, he's amped up. This is like, just going all out on this throw, and, more often than not, you might come up a little bit on the finish, I don't think that's too big of a deal. But he still works his right side. Like, he turns his right side really well through the finish.
I think that's a great toss.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Okay, so that's a monster lead at the high school ranks, 69 plus in January.
Yeah,
shot. Dude,
seriously.
that's crazy. What's he going to throw? What's your prediction for his throw outdoors?
I don't know.
73-11.
73-11. I mean, wait, he's a senior. I think I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to break 70. I think, dude, it's still a lot of feet, though. That's what, 4 feet's tough. It's, it's never easy, but I'm going to go, I don't know. That's a good guess. I'm gonna
73-11 it is. That takes us to the NCAA level. Adelaide Aquila goes out and just goes monster here, 1908. She just sends that. And she's, this is another world-class athlete.
Crazy.
She's an Olympian, NCAA champ. Another, huge coaching change. Ashley Kovacs.
I mean, here's case in point. You don't, coaching changes don't mean everything.
Right.
He
looks good out of the back.
1908.
Yeah, right leg looks solid to the middle. Trying to see if I...
Her right leg, that's it.
Maybe the left's a little deep?
She always had that.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good toss, I think.
It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, 1908's all right. So she's number 1 in the NCAA right now. Divine from Vanderbilt's number 2, and then Peyton Montana is actually number 3. Throws you alum. Okay. Bobby Calantonio, if I remember this correctly, with an absolute monster bomb, 24-15, number 7 all-time NCAA mark ever.
That's awesome.
How lightheaded do you think he got after screaming?
Yeah, seriously.
That's just a huge, huge throw. I think, dude, I think the weight throw, first of all, is just absolutely so terribly hard on your body. Like there's so much weight and there's so much energy that you have to control. The strength in your back that you have to be able to handle that to accelerate and move it quickly, and to go 79 feet. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Do you think he's got a big power clean?
Yeah, I'd say so. I was going to say, I think it's just cool watching this. Like the progression, it's just seamless from the yell and the release to the backup yell to the celebration yell. It's just one constant, just like, just intensity.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So huge show for him, 24-15. Oh, I did see this throw, actually. I think this was what? 24:05. Oh, I got fed this in a Reels. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Okay, so here we are with Janae Cassenvoid, just dropping an absolute monster, 24:05 at K-State. I think she's actually from Kansas or Missouri, too. She was down at LSU training with Greg, and then when Greg went back to K-State, she followed. Got fourth at the Olympic trials.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Explosiveness.
That's huge.
Yeah.
What's 24:05? That's probably like 79 feet as well.
Yeah.
Or just under 79. Good. Jeez. Okay, so here we got Trip Pippery. This is Don Babbitt's video from, is this in Athens? Babbitt posted this? Oh, it's in Clemson. Duh, it says it right there. So this is 2071. You know, he had that season last year where he was a little banged up in the ankle, came back. I even think he might have had ankle surgery.
I think he's going 2099 too.
So he's in pretty good freaking shape right now. I've always felt like he has, along with Cal Antonio, some of the best yells.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And actually, I did want to bring this up because we did our video on, we should definitely watch that video. We did our video on height of shot putters. And Pippery was one guy I was also thinking of because he's not, you know, he might be 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". He's not huge. Moving well, January 16th, you know, to go 2071. And since he's gone a little bit deeper into the 20-meter throws, this is another one I want to see a projection from. I think he might end up by the end of the season throw 2150.
I think so. I think he's going to go by the end of the indoor season.
I don't know by outdoor.
I think he'll go further than that, dude. I think he's coming back with like
2170.
2180.
Oh, 2180. Trevor says for Pippery.
I think he's. I don't know. That's a tough one because Turner's an absolute beast.
He and Turner Washington.
Yeah, but they're definitely going to go. It's going to be, you know, they're going to push each other too. So.
Oh, this is another angle of that. So here we go. It's almost like in the middle of his reverse, he was staring at the ref like, "You better not foul me here." That's awesome. Okay, so here we go. Divine goes 1792. This is number 2 in the NCAA. She's from Great Britain. Was at UConn, transferred to Ohio State, trained with Ashley at Ohio State, and now here she is just dropping monster throws. 1792. So there's, you know, she's right around 18 meters. Adelaide, who a former athlete of Ashley's, at 1908. Great throw. Now she's at Vanderbilt. I would assume that's Vanderbilt's school record.
I mean,
it's going to be crazy to see like every single record that they have just be completely rewritten. Yeah. Completely rewritten.
Yeah, that's big.
And she's probably strong as hell. She's just good finish.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we've got Isaac Odugbazin, is I believe the pronunciation, but I'm probably way off, and he is going 2048. This is a monster who also is being recruited by the WWE, so he might be a future superstar along with Gable Stevenson as well, dominating the professional wrestling ranks. Real methodical out of the back.
Dude, though.
Yeah, he's like real methodical, just sort of like comes nice and easy, and then as soon as that right leg grounds, it's like turn it on and smash. 20-48.
It's the thing with just like, bigger, taller throwers, like, just modeling after Krauser, the nice and easy out of the back and just, accelerating through the middle, hammering the finish.
Yep. So here we go. Peyton Montana, number 3 in the NCAA for women's shot. Let's go back here.
Dude, she's just slinging that.
Let's watch that again. So Peyton was a high school national champ. Now she's top 3 in the NCAA. Plan on having a big breakout year indoors. I think that's fun to watch. It's fun for me to see Peyton killing it.
Absolutely.
Of course, that takes us into what Ryan Krauser has done. And I actually was just checking out. He's building a garage gym, a personal garage gym, and he was like, I don't know, front squatting like 200 kilos for like 3 easy reps, just stupid easy. It's like the fact that these guys, he's pause benching, 400-pound pause with an average velocity of 0.67. It's crazy to me that like he's this strong, right? Like just phenomenally strong. Once he hit a triple here. Yeah. Hits a triple with a pause at 400. Incredible technique. And it's like he's giving us that blueprint of what it takes to be a world record holder. Essentially, It's like, be extremely strong, power snatch, 152 kilos. And that's another thing. It's like how much, he's 6'6", 6'7". How much speed, how much power output does he need from his hips? Krauser, I want to see the peak velocity on your high hang snatch there. Can we please can you please let us know what those hip snatches are, the peak velocity is?
What's more impressive, his snatch or his catch of the snatch after he drops it?
Oh yeah, and he just walks it back in. Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Oh yeah, here's the one right here. Let's just bring this up. So this is Crowder. 230. It was a single during the week of a meet.
Depth.
Yeah. 230 single, nice and deep. Heading into, he's opening up this weekend at Millrose, and I think that a lot of people ask these questions around depth, speed, stuff like that. It's like Krauser to me is showing us full range. It's good to do Olympic weightlifting movements. He's starting to play around. It seems like he's starting to play around more so with some velocity-based training. We didn't have Turner Washington in here. He also, I did want to talk about him throwing. I think he threw 21:30 to lead the NCAA. So anyway, going off Krauser, it's just great seeing his off-season training so that everybody, all the high school throwers can be out there like, this is the guy who has the world record. What is he doing in the offseason? He's getting as strong as he possibly can. He's still taking a lot of throws, and he's working towards that next step. And it's like, what is that next step? What's he going to throw? Yeah. Will he throw 23:50 this year?
That would be, I can't put it past him.
No, I think he could do it. Especially because the World Championships is in Eugene.
Yeah.
So it's like he's going to be lined up and ready to peak for a monster throw. So I'd say stay tuned for the rest of the indoor season. We're going to try and be updating everybody on who's got the NCAA lead in each event and also updating you on what the professionals are doing at each level. And shout out to Eric Favors, garage strength thrower, for PRing indoors and going 1984. We didn't include his video, but you will be hopefully in the next throw show. Till next time, guys. Peace.